Alright, so how many of you have watched 13 Reasons Why on Netflix? Because if you have not watched it, season 1, season 2, then go and watch it and then watch this video because there might be some spoilers. So you don't want to know that before watching the show if you are a fan of the show.
I've seen them come, I've seen them go, losing all that I control, to fill those hearts, sharing love the farthest.
Hello everyone, this is Calliope and today I'm going to talk about the show 13 Reasons Why. I mean, yes, I think mentioned that this is one of my favorite shows. I don't remember whether it was last year or this year, but I decided to make this video because I think through this one show there is so much which is shown. And initially when this season 1 released on Netflix, there were some people who were like against the show because of the graphic details, when it comes to rape and of course suicide, and even the tapes, it had a very detailed view of what this girl was going through. Of course there's bullying and a little bit of violence is also there. So people were like, this show might actually trigger more suicides and stuff. So I don't have a problem with this show, but of course for people who are in their teenage, I think people who are going through something like this, then I think you should not watch the show, or you can watch it with your parents if they allow it. Well, that's my view. In fact, maybe talking about the show or watching this might actually make you speak up, and because you can relate to a lot of stuff in it, students in high school, what they go through and stuff like that. Alright, so there were a lot of controversies, happening why this show should be cancelled. And I think after second season's last episode, definitely they are like, we don't want a new season on Netflix. So I hope that new season is renewed. Anyway, first of all, let me just give you a brief for people who don't know about this show. So it is like teen drama, you can say mystery teen drama, and it talks about how in high school, people go through bullying and suicide and basically mainly bullying, okay? And there is this whole sexist culture, I was very surprised actually to see that, yeah, even in a place like America, this whole thing about, it's the same everywhere. It's so sad. It's like same everywhere, men talk really shit about girls, especially in high school. You have all seen that. Even here, like, I'm sure we have experienced. So men will talk shit about women, everything is about their body, and they like to exaggerate, that if she kissed, then they will say that no, she did foreplay. And sometimes or they would talk something more, if she didn't do something, even they'll still try to exaggerate and say, oh, she's like such a slut, the way she was grinding, the way she did this. It's really disgusting, okay? I'm sure we have all faced that at some point of time, and that's what even in the show they were talking about it. And it's not cool talking about a woman's body like that. And of course, even for the men, the pressure, for them to do something, basically get laid, and that thing about, I actually fucked so many women, okay? And of course it was dealing with a really difficult topic like rape, happening at these parties. And of course we have read about, news reports where kids get raped at parties also, even in high school. Sometimes they don't even talk about it. See, there are a lot of reasons for people to not sometimes pursue a case. Sometimes they are drugged and then raped. Sometimes they're very drunk and they don't really remember all the details. Sometimes it's about being ashamed, because a lot of times the victims are blamed, okay, and people don't believe the victim. So yeah, it touches about a lot of topics, and especially in the last episode of this second season, it was very graphic, what happened with Tyler. So it again was definitely dealing with how even men are bullied, and sometimes so much violence happens, or sexual assaults, and the way he reacted, he does not tell about it to his parents or even the school, because he's so fed up with the way the school reacts, with whole suicide of Hannah and of course Alex's suicide attempt. So he knows nothing is going to happen, and then of course there is also, like, for men, you're supposed to be this person who's macho, and people don't talk about sexual assaults very easily, especially for men. It can be very difficult. So all these things are dealt with in season 1 and 2. Of course, in season 1 we see more about things from Hannah's perspective, and we are introduced to all the characters through these tapes. Now, of course, if you ask me, I don't have a problem with movies or TV shows dealing with such topics, because it's important to talk about it. It's important to it's like we always say this: art imitates life and life imitates art, something like that. So yeah, this happens apparently everywhere, and we are just talking about it and showing it through TV show or movie or Netflix series. So for me, as an artist or as a YouTuber, writer, etc., I don't have a problem with such shows. I mean, I have even watched Mindhunter. So if you ever get a chance to watch something, it's very dark, it's very a lot of graphic scenes, and it's not everyone's cup of tea. If you are interested in watching something like a psychological thriller, I don't know what to call it, it delves into what goes on in the psychology of these really sick murderers, or rapist criminals. Anyway, from what I have read, that it's helping a lot of people who have gone through it, people who can relate to it, and I'm sure it will encourage people to talk about it, or if they are going through some suicidal thoughts and they are in depression, I'm sure they should seek help. And yeah, parents should also talk to their kids. I think for me, I like this show because even though it messes your head, okay, it's like you really feel angry and stuff, I think a part of me can relate to it because I have gone through certain things in my life, so I can relate to it. It's just that, which I have actually talked about some of it in my previous videos also, where I talked about depression and suicidal thoughts. Between my second and third job as an assistant director, there was a lot of gap, and things were not even great at my house because of my dad suspecting about this affair I was having. And yeah, whatever it was, I just felt like running away, and I felt like I didn't feel like home for that time. I was like, I just want this to end somehow. And when you feel like a failure, it's like it's kind of the end. And I'm a very sensitive person, I'm very caring person. Like, if I'm loyal to you, I'll be loyal to you forever. Like, I'm that kind of a person. Of course, if someone is really being mean to me and they're just really shitty person, then I would definitely end that friendship or relationship. But otherwise, I think I'm a very caring person. Especially, I expect only for my parents. And when your parents, not mom, but yeah, dad was really being difficult, and I was like, I just felt so angry. I was very angry. and sad. Anyway, I can relate to that part. Of course, Hannah was going through something different, and I think I love the writing as well, because when I watched the first episode, like season 1, I wanted to watch the second episode immediately, so it kind of keeps you on the edge, like what's happening. Sometimes it shocks you, sometimes it makes you angry, sometimes you feel you can relate to what this person is going through. Even in season 2, I liked the part where Jessica and the other a girl, I forgot her name, she also was raped, and that part where that girl says ki it's okay if she doesn't want to tell her story. She was talking about for all the girls who don't want to maybe talk about it because of whatever reasons. She might be ashamed, she was not ready to talk about it, she needs some time. You go through so much of emotions, you feel so angry, and there's nothing to be ashamed of. Let me say this, it's not your fault. I just wished we raised our boys also well, and of course our girls also well. So yeah, I mean, everyone deals with rape, sexual assault differently. So yes, I would have definitely liked like Jessica to come forward immediately, but I think she just took time and she waited that in Hannah's case things would be kind of done, like this Bryce Walker would be in jail, hopefully. Another thing which I really loved about this season was to actually see Zach and Hannah's relationship. I think that episode was the most sweetest episode I've seen. I mean, except, yes, the fact that he doesn't want to talk about her or introduce her to his friends. I think that's understandable, first of all, because in that age, you have this pure pressure and you want to be part of that group. And in a way, I think he was also protecting Hannah because he knows how Bryce and those other men are, and they'll talk really bad about her, and how they talk about girls. And I'm sure Zach was not really happy about everything, but then he was part of this team, and basically just did not have the courage to stand up for what is right. And there are a lot of people in this world who are like that, but that episode actually made me so happy. I just loved it. What I liked about that episode was, like, she had one guy who was really sweet to her, and come on, even in our teenage, I think there'll be at least one guy who would be like nice to us. I think I did not really get nice guys, so yeah, it can be really difficult. But it is nice to see Hannah first time being happy, and the consensual sex, and of course not just about sex, but they shared so much with each other. Their nature was somehow also very similar. It's just that Hannah was more of a kind person, and she kind of tried to do the right thing as much as possible and spoke the truth. So Zach was not really ready to stand up for what is right. So for whatever reasons, you kind of want to be part of this whole popular kid and the rich kids, and you don't want to be outcast. So I understand that, but I think I would have loved for Zach and Hannah to actually have a relationship. It's so sad. Somehow I didn't. Clay loved her and whatever, but I would have loved to see Zach and Hannah together. So yeah, I wanted more of that. Of course, Bryce Walker, the actor who portrays this character, is like, you'll hate him so much, right? I mean, he has no remorse, and it was one of the episodes actually when he was thinking about it and he was hard, about Hannah and stuff. I was like, kind of a disgusting man is this guy. He has literally no remorse. I mean, wow. That is true actually. Some people are like that, they're not gonna change. Jail will not change them. Nothing is gonna change them. Just gonna remain assholes and criminals all their life. I think that's why, death sentence is the best for such people. Another thing which I really loved was about Justin. I mean, yeah, he has been like, an asshole in first season, but then I kind of felt bad for Justin, even in the season 1 when his girlfriend Jessica gets raped by his best friend. Can you imagine? But I understand he comes from a really broken home. His mom is an addict. He's had a rough childhood, because there is a scene where they show, when Justin is talking in the court about Bryce and his friendship, like since childhood they have been friends, and even that time he got into a fight with such a small kid, he's fighting and stuff. So yeah, I understand that he's had a difficult life, and of course having a rich friend kind of makes it a little bit easy, when you're short of cash, or when you want to party, when you want drinks or money or whatever. Of course, I'm sure he struggled with the fact that he did not tell his girlfriend first, but then we all have conscience, and it will somehow come up someday. So yeah, I like the fact that in this season he kind of, even though he's struggling, he's homeless, and Clay helps him. And of course, if you saw, I was so happy when Clay and his parents decided to adopt him when he'll turn 18, because where else is he gonna go? So it was like, I really love that bromance which has started. And even though we feel that, oh, Justin is so messed up, he's into drugs and stuff, but the fact is that even Clay needed him, because he was still like struggling with Hannah's death, coming to terms with so much which was being said about her. And once or twice Justin really saved him through a lot of things, where he was gonna do something really bad. So I like that little bromance which is going on, and I'm really hoping that they have season 3. I just hope so. Of course, towards the end we see how everyone decides to stick together. I definitely felt bad for Tyler. That scene really broke my heart. Somehow, yes, he's still not being accepted or forgiven, and I hope in season 3 we see that he's accepted and part of the group. Sometimes we just want friends. I mean, I know what it is to be without friends, but I think I'm fine with that. There are people who constantly need friends and people around, and that's okay. I'm not judging them, but especially during school and college it can be tough. I'm sure I would be happy with just being homeschooled. So yeah, so I understand what he must be going through, and we are all complicated. We are not the most perfect people, we have done mistakes as well. So I think judging the other person is not right, especially teenagers, because we are not really in our best of heads, while growing up. So yeah, so I really loved both the seasons, and I'm hoping that they really have season 3 coming up soon. I hope all these controversies die, and I just feel that they have touched on so many topics in season 2 that I think this show should not end. Like even through Tyler, they even showed that the gun violence, the school shootings which happen in America, and how nothing is being done. I'm sure there is something which leads these kids to do such a horrible crime, and it all comes down to, I feel, parenting. Yes, schools should be really equipped, they should have proper counselor and stuff, but I feel parents should also know what their kids are doing. And secondly, I feel an environment should be at home where kids can discuss anything with their parents. And please, one thing I think what I don't understand about parents is, why do they want to get angry, or why do they want us to be like this perfect people, or want to fix everything for us? Sometimes things are not black and white, even though I like to believe that. I'm always like very, you know, like this side or this side, you know, I don't understand gray, but that is how it is. Life is like that sometimes, and we are not really perfect. But yes, the dialogue needs to happen. Parents need to be very free-minded and discuss things with their kids, whether it's in India, whether it's in America or wherever. Both the seasons have touched on so many topics, and I don't think so there is any problem with this show. This is like my opinion as a fan of this show, as a person who really liked the show. I will definitely say please renew it for season 3. Alright, so I think I'm going to talk about parenting in some video very soon. I just wanted to talk about this show because I watched it, you know, I finished the season just today morning. Last night I was like awake till 4 and I was trying to finish the whole season, but then by the time it was 4 I was like, I think I should just go to sleep. Sorry, the summer vacations are on and you know, kids are playing, I think, so that's why they're making noise. Anyway, so I just wanted to talk about this show, and I did. I hope you like this video, and if you like it, please give it a thumbs up. Please comment below and let me know if you are a 13 Reasons Why fan, and what do you think about the show, what do you think about the season, and please share this video with your friends, and please subscribe if you're liking my channel, my videos. If you want to check out my last video, it's somewhere here. Until next time, it's goodbye from me. Take care.